What's up, guys, and welcome to Bitcast, episode 130 for the month of August 2025. I'm your host, Jake Martin, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host and good friend, Landry Smith. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Dude.
Listeners, how's it going? It's good to be back on the mics.
It feels like it's been long, but when's the last time we recorded? June?
Yeah, for Mario Kart World.
I guess so.
Which we're
the
hitting
Switch
a cadence
came out
of about like Nintendo's release schedule.
Every 2 months, essentially.
Yeah.
Something worth checking out. Yeah, we decided to wait again a little bit longer to finish up DK Bonanza, and then I got COVID, so that was cool.
Dude, such a bummer. That's crazy. I guess that's just a part of life now. It's like a 1 year. You're gonna get it, or at least I've gotten it like once every year, essentially.
It's like the flu now.
COVID's been around.
It's like the flu now. It's just weird, 5 years removed from the pandemic, you get COVID, and you're like, all right, just got to deal with this, and it's fine. But
now that we have kids, it's like really crucial to get sick like on the weekdays.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And while the kids are at school. Did this happen, or did you have a kid home sick with you, or
none of the kids got sick? I don't even know how this happened. I'm a little bit nervous still. I'm thinking that we're going to go down still somehow, but yeah, only Hannah and I got it. So we're the only ones in the house that got sick. I went down first, and then she went down like 4 or 5 days after me. And yeah, it was almost ideal. But again, the idea is is it better for the kids to get sick on the weekend? So you have the time to dedicate to them. You don't have to take off work and deal with the whole rigmarole of trying to deal with the sick child while you're also trying to work. That's the worst.
Right. Yeah. I don't really have a job anymore that I can work from home. So it usually falls to me because with Liz, if she's working from home, she just can't take care of a kid as well. So
yeah. No, it's tough, man. It's a tough game that we have to play. Tough balance, but sure. I'm back. I'm feeling better. I don't have any. I'd have a little bit of leftover congestion, but it's not bad. I see you're sipping on some tea there. That looked nice.
Yeah, a little jasmine green tea.
Oh my!
Pretty good.
That sounds lovely. I just have water.
It's nice.
Just boring.
Probably. I think there's a little caffeine in it, which is not the greatest probably choice.
Not before bed. Yeah, we're recording this at 9:00 at night, so that's not great. But it's fine. You'll be up. You'll be hyped up for this podcast.
Exactly.
Landry, I did want to give you an update really quick. I am reading East of Eden, and
oh my goodness,
it is so far as good as you have sort of portrayed it to be. I'm really enjoying it. I'm only about 80 pages in.
Okay,
but it's awesome.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Good. Yeah, I feel like some people think it gets a little bit of a slow start, and I get that. I think the writing it just pushes me and moves me forward through some of the slower parts, but man, once the story picks up, it is wild, dude.
I'm a little bit nervous.
I'm very excited for you.
I'm already seeing the groundwork that's being laid, and I'm like, oh no. They just introduced, I think, Kathy, is that her name?
Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
She's up there for me, top 3 most just evil characters in literature that I've ever read.
Yeah, they're planting those seeds early. I'm like, oh, she's gonna just do some terrible things, and I am not excited about this.
Yeah, it's Iago from Othello, the judge from Blood Meridian, and Kathy are they're all on that same tier of just you do not want to mess with these people. They will rip your soul out.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, I'm ready for my. I'm ready to be sad. I'm getting there.
It's well, I guess it is. There are definitely sad parts of this novel, but I'm not one of those people who just loves a novel that just completely devastates you. So
yeah, there's redemption.
I like stories with redemption and grace and that are a little uplifting in the end, and this has all of that.
Yeah,
and you're gonna want to get Tim Shell tattooed across your body at the end of this novel.
Okay. We'll see. If I do get a tattoo, I don't know if that'd be the first one, but if I like it that much, maybe it would be.
That's fair. Yeah, I never did get into tattoos, but
I haven't either.
Every 6 or 7 months, I'm like, man, maybe it's time.
I'm in the same.
At this point, it would be a midlife crisis. And I don't know if I'm ready to commit to a midlife crisis yet.
Yeah, it's we've almost waited too long to get a tattoo. It's who gets tattoos in their late 30s? I'm sure a lot of people do actually, but their first tattoo, I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, also, I wanted to talk about this before we get into our run of show, but Landry, I've been feeling a little just disconnected from gaming lately. I don't know how to describe it. I've just been feeling that. I don't know if you're in that space or how you've been feeling lately.
I could definitely tell that you were feeling disconnected from gaming lately. I was getting those vibes, and I definitely am as well. I think that gaming also, the way that I think it's kind of fading away. The way that we grew up with it, the way that we spent even our 20s and early 30s with it, it's not really something you can follow as easily. I think that the way media content is pushed out, it's just not fun to follow anymore. There's so much negativity in the space, and like all the stories around the Switch 2, for instance, which I think is a really cool console, are all negative stories about like what's going wrong, and that's because that stuff gets clicks and it generates viewers and stuff like that. But to me, it's just not interesting. Like there's so many different angles you could spin it, and so many ways you could talk about the things that are going on better and more interesting ways. And also these companies haven't, because the technology's gotten so good, PlayStation puts out one game every year now, it seems like. And I'm not even trying to be like rip on them. I feel like that's pretty much where we're at,
I think that's more
Astrobot.
I think that's more of like what I think is leading to it, because there is such a lack of and this is dumb to say because there's more content than ever probably, but to me it just feels like there's a lack of big titles that I can get sort of excited about. And Donkey Kong Bananza was the biggest Nintendo release of this year probably that I was like looking forward to besides Mario Kart, and I was like, this is going to be like huge. I'm looking forward to like the big Mario Part, like Nintendo platformer essentially from the Mario team. And we'll get into it for our review discussion today, but I was just like not feeling DK Bonanza as much, and so I think that kind of pulled me back out of the hobby for a second, and I was just like
Well,
I was like, I don't
Nintendo know. They do this before every new console cycle, at least in the past like 3. They kind of go into their shell and they spend a year of just like not releasing a lot of games that are, super interesting or, AAA titles. And so this is the first big one since like Pikmin 4 or Tears of the Kingdom, that single player experience, that you're really excited about. And I agree, man. It did not capture me either. And I have also been feeling like, man, when is that next game going to come by that's going to blow my socks off? And is that ever going to happen again? And but also, I've been at peace with kind of moving into other hobbies. I mean, you and I are both the same way, where it's like we have so many interests. And I mean, I read so many books last year, and I haven't read as many this year, but I've been watching a lot more movies, and
Yeah, you were doing the Blast the Past podcast.
Yeah.
Watching some retro films.
Exactly, yeah. And that's, I'm just be 100% honest. And maybe the people who listen to that podcast won't listen to this one. I don't really like a lot of the movies that we watch on that show, or they're not my favorite type of movies, I like more, like I love old stuff, like really old. I like to watch like classic films. And if I'm watching a movie on my own time, it's probably not going to be like a blockbuster from the 90s. It's more going to be something like last night, everyone was asleep in my house, and I put on like an old Woody Allen movie from the 70s called Sleeper. It's like a really silly sci-fi movie, but like I typically like to follow directors and just kind of dive into their filmography and stuff like that. But what's cool about Blast of the Past is I've been watching those movies, and it's getting me talking about movies again. It's getting me more interested in going back and revisiting that passion that I was like, I mean, in my early 20s, man, like video games, I played them still, but I didn't have any friends that did. So really, I was just a movie guy. Like that's all I did. So.
Well, yeah, and like movies, I'm sure at this stage of life too, when you think about what kind of investment you want to make in something, there's something very appealing about a movie because it has a start and an end. and and it's done in 2 hours or less typically.
Right.
So when you go to even watch a film that you may not even have that much interest in, you're like, well, it's only 2 hours, and this is a time cost that I can sort of wrap my head around. Where games now, you start something and you realize the scale, the sense of scale, or like how much is actually in the game, and you're like, ooh, yeah, that kind of like stresses me out, having to think about how much stuff there is to do in here. I don't know if I want to commit to this right now. Like that, this feels like too much almost.
Yeah, if you get a hold of a 30-hour game, that's like 30 nights in a contained space that you have to spend the 1 hour that you have a free time movies. On one thing.
That's 15 movies.
That's a lot. Yeah, I'm definitely having that struggle as well. So, I mean, I did have a big kick where I played Elden Ring a few months ago, and we talked about that a little bit.
I loved following your journey through Elden Ring.
I went completely psycho on that game. Like, I mean, I really fell into the rabbit hole with that one.
Oh, but man. Anyways,
I mean, there hasn't been a game since then that I've gone like that for.
And so, yeah, I wanted to open up with that just because, like, that probably is going to color a bit of my discourse today, just giving the audience a full heads up. You know, when we're talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza, this could be a result of that, or Donkey Kong has caused that. I don't know which came first. But
dude,
if you are tuning in, go ahead. Sorry, I said it.
That's an interesting point. Donkey Kong has caused that. I'm kind of right there with you, man. It's interesting. The discourse around this game is surprising to me.
I agree.
To be 100%.
And so we'll have an interesting conversation about that. I'm excited. So
yes,
if you are tuning in, that's a long intro for y'all to get through, but you're here for the conversations. You're here for the fun times. We're talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza, the new game for Switch 2 that just came out. And then also we'll be playing a game of Skill Tree Triviai at the end. This is a more condensed or consolidated podcast today. But a little bit of housekeeping for you. If you guys are listeners, be sure to write into us, leave reviews. You can do that on any of your major podcasting platforms that you listen to us on. And check us out on social, YouTube Shorts or whatever. We have some shorts out there. I'll probably put some out for this podcast that'll get some feedback on our opinions on Donkey Kong. So look forward to that. Let's jump into our topic of the show. Yeah, so Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's here. We've played it.
Yes.
How far have you gotten, or like where are you at, sort of?
I beat the main story, and I got into the post-game content a little bit, but not much. I've only spent about an hour after beating the game in it so far.
I've also beaten the main campaign and just sort of saw how they brought the game back around to open the game back up if you wanted to collect everything else, which I thought was pretty clever. And I guess before we jump into anything further, full spoilers, we're going to be talking about every aspect of the game. So
it's hard to talk about this game at all without spoilers.
Right.
It really is.
If you haven't played it yet and you are wanting to remain spoiler free, don't listen to this podcast. Or if you don't care, then just listen up and have fun. But yeah, I have 481 bananas. You have 550, which is a substantial amount. And I just looked this up, and I think 777 is the number. Is that the main number?
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, wow. So I'm much closer than I anticipated.
Yeah, I actually felt good about my number when I saw that. I was like, okay, that's like, I'm 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I mean, I will 100% this game because this is what I do, but it will probably take me a long time.
Yeah, so let's just start at the top then, Landry. What have you liked so far? Like, what are some things that stand out about DK Bonanza for you?
Man, I love the Donkey Kong redesign right from the beginning, right from the trailers. He's so expressive, and that is really cool to see. I grew up loving Donkey Kong Country games when I was a kid. Those were my favorite games easily when I was a kid. And they're not necessarily my favorites now, but they're pretty close. Mm-hmm. I think the redesign is cool. It maintains like his character, but that kind of love in the animation shines through other characters like Pauline, and I'm not huge on the Void Co characters necessarily. Their designs I'm not like crazy about them or anything, but they kind of make sense within the the flow of the game. I love the moveset that Donkey Kong has. I think he plays very fluidly. Um, and I think it's just smartly designed from like playing the character's perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's kind of a start of what I love. What about you? What really stuck out to you?
Yeah, I think to your point, I think the sort of the life that they've given DK with this new graphical style and this update really has I don't know. I think that this is a great direction going forward for Donkey Kong. I love his comedy and his movements, his ferocity, like in the speed at which he moves. I think that all translated super well. Controlling DK feels amazing. Getting him around to climb up and down stuff and smash things is super satisfying. And there's not a downtime in this game, which is really impressive. Like there's always something to be doing: smashing, climbing, throwing, breaking. Like it's a very aggressive game.
Yeah, I think the most aggressive game I've ever played in my life.
Just break, smash everything. And I think they did a good job too with like the redesign of Donkey Kong. Introducing Pauline and giving her a bit of a backstory and letting that sort of carry the whole game all the way through. There's a sense of mystery as to like what's going on with Pauline. Like she has this like voice that she can use that's gonna break people out of rocks and stuff. Like I don't know exactly. I don't know if they ever actually explained what her like special thing is. But
yeah.
She wants to get back to the surface. She wants to sing,
Right.
And Donkey Kong's going to help her do that. And Donkey Kong just wants bananas, but he also wants to help Pauline because he's a big softie. And it's sweet. Like their relationship is sweet. And all the moments where they clear a level and they do their little dance, their little jig together is always cute and fun to watch. And their little conversations every time you take a nap with Donkey Kong they're all unique for each of the rest stations, which I thought was kind of cool. You get a lot more character, a lot more like, oh, this is sweet.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think that this game, I like the main conceit of him smashing through everything. I think it's fun. It's undeniably like it feels good, and I didn't have a problem. I think the camera is amazing. At first, in the very first level, that Ingot mines, it's a little constricted, and then in the trash level, it's a little constricted because you're so confined in those spaces. So it can be a little hard in those two areas and maybe a couple others in the game. But for the most part, the work the camera is doing, I think it's really impressive. And to be honest, the first level though, I was playing it for like 10 minutes and I was like, ooh, I don't know how this is going to work.
Right.
If the camera is going to be like constantly, because like it goes underneath the ground and it kind of dots. There's like this dot graph that kind of comes through, and it was the same way in Odyssey. If your camera ever like went through a building or something, and I think that's really smart. But it also really, I don't know why it annoys me so much. Like I'm like, you could just, I don't really care if that's just solid. I'll just move the camera around to where I can see. But anyway, small complaint. It's great. I'm talking about all the things I like in this game because I'm about to talk about a lot that I don't like.
I think I'm in the same boat. Like I can't not talk about the things that I like without wanting to jump into the things I dislike. So I'm trying to think of more stuff. Like I think, gosh, what else? I mean, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I think I like the throwbacks, the references.
Oh my gosh,
and stuff.
So cool. And also another thing, it's like every great thing leads to something that's not even really a criticism. But for me as a player of the game, I just was like, man, it would have been cool if you introduced King K. Rool and all the bad guys before that
way
last
earlier.
level.
Because
way earlier. All those little sand creatures that are actually like, I guess like crocs or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that was such a cool reveal. But I want to see the actual bad guys more. Those gold things get so annoying to hit over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually kind of a little stunned when they had already animated all those bad guys. I'm like, what? Why didn't you do this earlier?
Yeah, give us this
Not to
halfway
mention-
through the game. Make that kind of the because that reveal was really cool. At the very
It was
end,
really
you're
cool.
like, oh, K. Rool is in this universe, and also, all the bad guys I've been fighting up until this point are actually versions of monsters that we all know from the DK universe that are just here now. The buzzards, making that noise and trying to fly at you. I was like, this is great. This is exactly what I would have wanted. But yeah, it's the last level. It's the only time you get to see those characters. So that was kind of a bummer. What else? Oh, turf surfing is fun.
Oh yeah,
That's cool.
I love that. I love my favorite mechanic in every Donkey Kong game is you can roll off of an edge
Mm-hmm.
and in the air jump and then roll again.
Yes.
And you can do that in this, and which is like you can get so far into different places. It feels like you're kind of breaking the game, which every Mario game has that. And you can see the DNA from the designers, and in that just that one move set right there really opens up some really cool platforming areas. And that's super neat, especially in the first half of the game before you get the ostrich, and then you can kind of fly over everything. You can just go
wherever you want.
Which I guess like now I'm gonna have to start talking about some of the things, because all of these compliments I'm gonna give it is like I don't understand. This game reminds me of a Kirby game in that it's not actually that easy, because when you put it in a kid's hands, the controls are pretty complex.
Mm-hmm.
And there are things that you have to learn as a player. I mean, if you're a seasoned veteran gamer, though, you're going to learn it quite easily. But man, there is just no resistance whatsoever. And I can't remember a game where I started falling asleep while I was playing so much. And there's so much color and like camera shake, and there's so many senses going on. So it's so sensory driven that it's overload. And I really struggled to attach to anything. Like I remember the environments of the different levels, but I don't remember a lot of the architecture of them because it didn't stand out to me in any way. There's just too much going on. I don't like the color palettes for almost any of the levels. My friends make fun of me so much for talking about the way things are colored and the aesthetics of everything.
No, this thing is bad. It's garish. It is so many bright neon colors.
Yes. It's very, very, it kind of just hits you in the face all the time,
Yep.
And oh man, I don't know.
One thing I wanted to mention before we go into the negatives is the puzzle rooms. I think the puzzle rooms, some of them are cool. There's like some cool puzzle implementations that are like, oh, that was kind of fun, or the ones where you're just smashing a bunch of stuff to get gold. Those are fun. And like some of the combat stuff is kind of clever. I think I failed like one puzzle room. Most every room that I went into was, again, very easy. But I thought those were like a fun break from the main hub world or the main world that you're in. It's like, oh, I get like a little bit of a breather in this one where it's either a 2D side scroller, which were some of the better. Whenever I got into a 2D one, I was like, yes, like this is going to be.
I liked the initial thought of it, but I still didn't. None of them gelled with me. I beat them all the first time I went through, so I didn't have to double back for anything. On those.
Again, not super challenging. It was just like a fun little break. You're like, this is different.
Yeah. It's a fun break, but like to me, it did not have the same highs as the NES like Mario style things of Mario Odyssey, because those challenges were way better.
Right.
And
another. Let's go to the negatives.
Yeah. Okay.
The criticisms.
I'll let you start with the first thing that you have.
Yeah, so I think like discovery is the biggest issue I think that I had, or like the moment to moment gameplay that really
agree.
is the whole game is just not entertaining. And to your point about falling asleep, like I also found myself literally falling asleep like a few times, which is crazy because of what we just talked about, how this game is so aggressive and in your face and you're smashing and breaking everything, but that gameplay mechanic becomes like as soon as you get out of that first section in Ingot Isle or Ingot whatever it is, mine, it's the same. It's just like, all right, I'm just gonna smash a bunch of stuff, try to find chests, try to find bananas, and then I'm gonna do that in every single level that I go down. Like nothing
I
changes.
almost, I completely agree with your main. This is my main criticism of the game. I think it's actually like almost a pretty critical flaw. I mean, one
Hmm.
that's strange for a Nintendo game because I think the mechanic of smashing through everything is really cool and
Yes.
it makes for an incredible game. I think this is the wrong game to have exploration mechanics designed around it because by nature, your field of view, even though you can sometimes see everywhere, is usually the stone that's right in front of you. And so there's not a lot of times in this game where you see something off in the distance, you're like, I want to go get that, or I'm gonna have some kind of challenge to get to that banana, or where that's
Hmm.
mostly what you're chasing down is bananas. And with that being absent, I felt a lot of times directionless because as me being kind of more of somebody who's played Mario games and 3D platformers, like I want to go and collect the stuff. I want the challenge.
Yeah.
But I found myself having way more fun if I just followed the little signpost
Hmm.
throughout the levels. And I felt like I was doing a disservice to myself doing that. So it was a really strange kind of balance of what am I really what am I trying to get out of these levels at the moment right now?
Right. Well, and like there's no reward for even going to find the thing that you can see. So like even if you knew that there were more bananas, you can look at your map and see that there's a ton of bananas that you've either marked with chests or that you have left to collect in your list. You can look and see, okay, I know I have 20 left in this layer I have to go find, but there is no reward for doing that. At least not that I've seen so far. Like
Well, skill points.
I've collected, yeah, skill points, but I've collected all of the bananas for levels, and like in other games, like Mario specifically, you need to get a certain amount of moons or stars to be able to progress to the next level. Whereas in this game, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. You can run straight to like the next checkpoint or objective that you have to get to and just deal with that thing, punch the key 3 times, beat the same boss that you've beaten 4 times, and then you go down further. Um, and I found myself wanting just to do that more than even explore because, to your earlier point, the incentive or even the exploration or the task of getting from that thing off in the distance is not rewarding. It's not fun to get there. There's no challenge in getting there. You just turf surf over there, and you just smash around until you figure out where the banana's at, and then you go to the next thing, and that's it.
Like it's kind of I mean this is so insulting, but this game is like extremely dumb.
Hmm.
And it fits the character of Donkey Kong.
Yes.
And I think that's actually great, I think the game concept is brilliant and I think this is a great first game in a series.
Hmm.
I where I'm completely blown away and just almost like floored by and don't understand
Because it's Nintendo.
is is the discourse of it being like a masterpiece. Like
Yes.
I literally don't get it. I don't see what people are saying. And like I'm a huge Logan Plant fan. I think he's a really good journalist. I think he's a good reviewer. I
He's
think
usually
he's
pretty
honest.
critical of a lot of stuff. Yeah.
He's very critical of Nintendo and in a lot of the right areas. I just don't see how you could walk away from this game and think it's a masterpiece. I really don't. Like, I do think there are so many good things. I think they've laid an incredible groundwork. I feel a lot of the way about this game that I do about Mario Kart World. Great. The groundwork is laid for something great. And with
Right.
Donkey Kong, it's not going to be in this game. I think in a sequel
Yes.
where you have King K. Rool as the bad guy and you have probably some real discussions about like where do we want to take this game design concept because there are some things that just don't work very well here
Hmm.
for this. Like I think the challenge rooms are a brilliant idea. I think they can level those up. I think this, some of the pushback on the player has to amp up. And another thing that we haven't really talked about are the what do they call them? The Bonanza forms.
Hmm.
like regulating those a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
There was hardly ever a time where I couldn't use those. You can just, when you get to a point in the game where you can spam it constantly,
Yeah,
and that's fun, but it's already unchallenging, and it eliminates anything. You just become like this super
and the only one worth
Saiyan
turning
person.
into is the first one you get, really, because he can just obliterate everything.
I'm the elephant more than anything.
The elephant's
man.
awesome because you can just suck
The
everything
elephant's
up.
incredible. And that's one mechanic. I could not wait to talk to you about this whenever I got to it. I knew you weren't there yet, but I think that mechanic alone gives me hope for Luigi's Mansion 4. I think that feels so good.
People love vacuuming stuff up.
Yeah, but Luigi's Mansion 3, I feel like had a little bit of some control issues. If they could just figure out how to put that in Luigi's Mansion 4, it'd be incredible.
Dude, it was such a bummer to go from elephant though to the snake form, and I was like, "This is the worst. This is the worst."
How did that not get chopped in the cutting floor? Like, there's.
Oh, I don't want to. No one likes. This is not the like. They love doing that in all the games. Nintendo, Mario has that with his little spring form in like every game, but like no one likes having to continually bounce. Like it's just not a fun feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to have to bounce.
The snake. Those are the worst levels in Donkey Kong Country 2. The ones where you have to be the snake and just like boing around.
Horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
Fun mechanic.
So the form's cool idea, but back to the core concept of smashing everything. Yes, I agree with you that it is well executed and it feels good and it totally fits for Donkey Kong. Like there's no disputing that. But to our main issue with the game, there needs to be a look at, okay, how do we constrain this to where it doesn't become boring, where it doesn't become rinse and repeat for every single level? Because even though we're trying to do as much as we can to make these levels, and maybe they didn't, I'm giving them too much credit. There was a lot of similarity across the levels, but what can we do to make these levels feel different with this tool set that Donkey Kong has, and how can we restrict movement and him being able to smash everything?
There's one level they did it. There's one level that's perfect in this game, and I think do you I don't know if you have the same idea, but
go ahead and tell me, and I'm sure I'll remember.
It's the resort level where you hit the bad guys. They have the colorful rainbows thing. It's much more vertical.
Yes.
So there's a lot of open air space, and when you're on the ground, you can pound around and stuff. But there's a lot of, it's almost like a puzzle trying to figure out how to get the chunks to go up into the air so you can finally dive into the watermelon. That was by far, in my opinion, the best level. It was the only level where you actually had to think to move around. You had to do a little bit of platforming, but it wasn't really like traditional platforming. It was all very like Donkey Kong, like pounding stuff and picking up chunks and throwing stuff.
And
that
floating,
level to me,
grabbing chunks and floating up, like that was interesting.
Yeah, that level to me is like a 10 out of 10, and then the rest of the game falls behind that. And it was a perfect like middle of the game kind of point.
It came at just the right time before I was like, this game's bad.
It's not a bad game. I think this game is anything but bad. I just think that good. It is. It's a good game. I don't know about very good, but it's good.
The thing with that level, though, that you're like saying is the best example of, restricting movement and giving him something different to do. It's like, yes, that part was interesting, but that's all I wanted to do was figure out how to get to the watermelon. Everything else in that level, I could care less about. I was like, I don't even want to go over here.
True.
I don't want to deal with all that. I don't want to go smash more stuff. Like I'm just enjoying being able to go up and figure out the arcs of these things. Like I don't care about what's over there or like what's on the ground anymore. Because I've done that for the past 5 levels. So I've just smashed the ground a million times.
Yeah, I agree. I did the same thing because I went back in the post game. That was the first level I went back to because I liked it. And I realized I'd only gotten 3 bananas in that whole world. So exactly. I don't know if that was the 3 that I fell and got, but literally I only had 3 bananas because I did the exact same thing. I just was like, let's go. At that point, I had just decided, okay, the exploring the game, which is kind of the way I liked. I got all the bananas in the first world, the second world, and the third world, and I literally was like,
I'm not having fun.
I don't like this very much at all. especially that canyon level. I was literally like, I hate this level. Um,
Yeah,
man,
like it's just the way you describe that is exactly how I felt. I was just like, I'm not having fun. And this is like the first, again, this is the first time that I have either fallen asleep in a game like this or I've just not, I've not wanted to pick it back up. Like when I went to go sit down to like decide to play a video game when I was still going through the story, I was like, man, I don't really know if I want to play Donkey Kong right now. Like
yeah.
I'm all smashed out. Like I don't really want to break more rocks. Like this is I don't want to do that right now. It's not that fun. Um and do you think that's because it's like it's a case of too much of a repeated action? Do you think that's kind of what it is?
I maybe, but like not necessarily because I mean I can run and jump in Mario and like fling his cap over and over again, probably just as much, and it
Mm,
doesn't bother me. And I actually genuinely like. I think there's too many times in this game that I feel like I'm digging without a goal in mind,
mm,
digging aimlessly.
yes.
Especially if you're trying to find bananas, you're just pounding down things, and it's almost like frustrating from the beginning because it's if you're going around the level looking for 100%, there's not a lot of indicators as to where
It's just they're just
something will be.
underground sometimes. You're just like it's just underground.
And yeah, so
Like, okay.
I, it, it's really, I really think they've mixed up something here. Like I think that this game just is not a great game for collectathon. I think maybe in the future, what they could do is find some way. I almost like kind of how they've designed this one. Maybe shrink the levels a little bit because they need to have like a streamlined goal in the levels, and maybe offer some, you know, some things off to the side and challenge rooms that are actually pushing back on you. Another point of criticism or not criticism, but like another thing I don't understand is listening to like people on GameScoop and Nintendo Voice Chat talk about these challenge rooms like they're really impressive puzzles from Nintendo's design team because I've played almost all of them,
Hmm.
and those are my favorite parts. And I just disagree entirely. Like they're just not nearly as good as some of the puzzles that you see
Hmm.
in a lot of these things. And there's just no like I'm like you. I don't think I died. There's one that I died in like 3 or 4 times,
Hmm.
and it was like a race against the clock where you have to destroy a building. It's like the
Right.
last
Oh,
challenge
I
you have for
hate
that.
those. I hate those.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and I wanted to say it's actually just a frustrating challenge, but I'm gonna give it a little bit of credit, and it's not like a super frustrating challenge. It's just not necessarily fun for me, you know. Like it's okay. It's okay to
just got to break
design,
everything
but
in a certain time frame. Yeah, like I forget. I wanted to talk on something else you were saying, but another point that I wanted to bring up that I just thought of. I feel like I feel like the characters, the main stones, the like the fractones or the blue,
yeah,
like I don't. Why did
yeah. I got
why did they do that? Why were they the consistent character that we had to see the entire game? Because
yeah,
like
man.
they
This is a problem I have with all Donkey Kong Country Returns 1 and 2, and now this.
they went to the
These,
effort of like theming some layers where it's like, oh, this is the bird area, this is the snake area, this is whatever. And like that all makes sense. This is the elephant storm area. And like you had elephants in those levels. Like you could have just easily have done that for the different layers, you know, but we had to see fractones the entire time. Just a rock, just a polygonal
yeah,
blue rock with eyes on it. And I'm just like, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's weird. It's like, and that's Donkey Kong enemies in like Returns are all drums. Like they're all like tiki drums. That was a strange choice. Those are very unmemorable bad guys, I feel like. And then, you know, the next one is a little better, but they're all penguins and it's like, man, let's we can widen the scope a little bit. It doesn't all have to be a rock or a drum or a penguin or
Yeah. Yeah, and then if it's gonna be a rock, make them look unique. They all look the same.
Yeah.
Every time you see a tone, whatever, they all look the same. They're just the eyeballs on a rock, and you're like, okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Um, Music was what I was gonna mention. I don't feel like there was a major standout track except for the Zebra song.
Yeah, that was another complete miss. And I mean, Donkey Kong music is amazing through the whole series.
Well, when you have Rare developing, I guess.
Yes. Well, yeah, David Wise and Grant
Hmm.
Kirkhope and
Yeah.
uh but man, I think some of these songs are some of the worst I've heard Nintendo first party. Period.
I,
They're so unmemorable and they're some of them I'm just like, "Wow, really? This you know what it
yeah.
sounds like? It sounds like an indie game, like an amazing indie game that had no budget left and so they got like a music composer, the cheapest one they could find. We're just like, hey, we need something. We're underground. It can be very spare and sparse, and like
Yeah.
just make it sound underground. And I couldn't believe it because Nintendo across the board, doesn't matter what game it is, their music's
They
always
put some
fire.
bangers out. Yeah. And this did not have the Zebra song, awesome. But everything
Oh,
else, I was
wow.
just like,
The zebra song, I agree. Very cool. And people always, I've heard a lot of people talk again positively about like, oh, Pauline songs are great. I'm like, no, they're not.
no,
Like, I would say very with like, I mean,
no, they're
everything's
not.
subjective in music, but like,
You sounded like Hank Hill when you
I
said
just
that.
don't get it, man.
No, they're
Amazing.
not.
He's
They're
coming
not
back.
good. Yeah, man, that was a big letdown for me because again,
Same.
big fan of Donkey Kong music in general, and I was like, wow, this is just very forgettable. There is nothing really out of here except for the Zebra song that I'm into. So that was a letdown. Um, and yeah, I think we've kind of hit almost all the negatives that I can think of. Like, oh, one more thing that I think would help this game tremendously is I kind of mentioned it earlier, but some kind of like checkpoint system, just some kind
Interesting.
of in each layer, some kind of like way of giving you like a checkpoint that you're working towards, whether that's like a banana total to like unlock a level behind something
I see what you mean.
to sort of give you a motivation to go towards another area where it's like, oh, okay, I need 10 bananas to go to this thing over here, and I have 5 right now. I'm going to go find 5 bananas and then come back over here and unlock that.
Yeah.
And that's going to let me kind of move into this next space. Like, I think that would give you a sense of progression and more reason to collect bananas outside of just like your skill tree. The skill tree, I liked the idea of that, but it's just like, to help with a sense of direction and motivation to move through areas. It's like you can't see this thing or do anything with this area really until you get this amount of bananas. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. I know that's been done and that could have been bad. Like the openness is cool, but it leads to what we're talking about, which is I think a bigger issue, which is just boredom. It's just like I don't care to do
Yeah.
that.
I was thinking of ways you could fix this. And one is take the bananas all the way out together, all out completely.
Mm.
Because I think if I replay, and I'm going to do this, I want to replay the game where I just go from follow the yellow marker
Hmm.
the whole time. I think that's probably the best way to play this game, to be honest.
Just skip any other bananas.
Yeah, just kind of sprint through it.
Beat it in
which
2 hours.
which is why I think that the levels should be condensed and and offer those side challenges,
Hmm.
and amp those up in difficulty maybe. Um, the other thing I think that they could do for a sequel is don't be afraid to be like Mario. There are not so many 3D platformers out there that you couldn't have like Donkey Kong swinging on vines and jumping off
Oh
platforms
yeah,
and
good
hanging on
point.
fences um, and don't be afraid to. You can keep that same mechanic, but it can be restricted. Not every material has to be bustable.
Hmm.
There can be whole levels where there's only like one bustable space, and that can be a part of the game, Whereas, there's a whole nother level out on the surface. And I think that could be where this game really could level up in the future and become a brilliant concept.
Hmm.
And I think looking back on this game, I'm going to probably think fondly on it. I think it's going to be a Nintendo classic, not a Nintendo masterpiece. I don't think that this game will age as a masterpiece, no matter what the
The
conversation's like right
the
now.
internet says.
Yeah, and I mean, even you look at the Metacritic score, it's like a 91, and that's a little high in my opinion. But still, I think Nintendo probably was hoping this would be more of like a one of their hit AAA masterpiece games, supposed to
Hmm.
be like a 95 and above.
Yeah.
So it's not on that level.
One other thing we didn't mention was the bosses. At no point, it's outside of K Rule, that I have any pushback or challenge on the bosses either.
Man,
Um,
that K rule fight was so cool.
it was a tough
And
fight.
I thought my whole thing throughout the whole thing was the game was I actually liked the boss fights because I don't like boss fights.
Oh,
So
okay.
unless it's like it's like a real part of
Clever.
the game. My biggest frustration with boss fights are when the mechanics of the game change entirely
Mm.
and you're suddenly doing something you haven't been doing. Like it's okay in Elden Ring because you're doing the same mechanics you've been working on.
Hmm.
And in this game, you were doing the same mechanics you've been doing, and you're just like, well, this is just another enemy I have to take down. And
Time
that
to
was
go
kind of cool to
Bonanza
me.
and just punch this
I
guy a
actually
lot.
liked it,
Time
but
to go Bonanza and just punch this guy a million times.
I understand I'm in a minority, and boss battles are just a thing that people like. K Rule
Well,
made me think that through a little bit, and I was like, whoa, this is fun. It's a good challenge,
yes.
and you really had to think about what you're doing. You had to switch between different bonanzas in the fight, and it took long enough to where you get some of those boss battles don't even take long enough for you to even think about what to do. It's just they're over in five
They're
seconds.
so fast. You literally just sprint at the boss, punch it a whole bunch, and then I think I finished the boss battle in like 30 seconds. I was like, okay, that was the whole boss.
Yeah,
Like, but think about like what they could have done very easily. I just thought of this when you were talking about that. But like DK's main mechanic is like smashing stuff, which he definitely does for the boss battles. But like they could have had one level that was just like a Shadow of the Colossus style giant battle where like you're on top of a giant monster, and to beat it you have to like smash through, you have to climb up it and then smash through like different elements of like his carapace or like the body that's on the outside and like get to something on the inside of the monster. Like that would have been a really cool boss fight. It's like,
yeah,
oh, cool, we're
yeah. I
smashing
agree.
into this thing and like punching him in his heart or punching him in his lungs or whatever. You
That's
know,
a great idea. And okay, me and you do not work at Nintendo. We're both creative people. But we have just been thinking about this for 1 month, and I think we've seen some. I think Nintendo knows there's some flaws in this,
hmm.
and this is one of the reasons that I now genuinely believe that this was not the entire team working on this. I think this is like a B team job, a team they
Oh,
pulled off to the side, and I'm not saying it's B team work. You know, I think it's a teamwork, but I'm just saying not all hands were on deck for this because um, as cool as it is, I just can't imagine everybody being there and being like, yeah, this is a good idea. This like for all of these levels.
right.
Or we'll have our main conceit of the game smashing through everything, but there's not really a way to like look and see where the next banana is. You just kind of mindlessly plow your way through a level and you'll stumble on some as you get there.
Yeah. Yeah. The question that you raise is a good one. It's just like how much playtesting was done on this where they put it out, they knew like this is a great game, or like was some, I mean, surely people in the room were like,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know.
sure. I can't imagine there aren't a lot of people who just don't like this. In our friend circle, I think there's a lot of people who like it, but I've talked to a lot of people who are kind of like on like me and you, and then some people who are just like this actually makes me a little sick. There's so much motion with the camera
Yeah,
and stuff, and you can turn that down.
I'm
And I
nauseous.
recommended that to a friend, and it helped a little bit. But
Yeah. Mark, when he and I were talking about this briefly, because he doesn't have the game yet, and I hadn't listened to the Game Scoop episode where Sam was kind of critical of it,
oh yeah,
but
I think
I
Sam's
hadn't listened to
dead
that.
on.
I hadn't listened to that yet either, and I was talking to Mark, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, I was like, it's fine. I was like, I'm not like loving it. I think like everyone else is, and he's like, oh wow, you're the first like critical take that I've heard yet about this game, and I was like, yeah, like I mean, it's still cool. I was like, I just think I don't know, I'm just not having as much fun as I thought I was going to be with this game. And then same day or the day after, I saw people like talking about Sam's recent recording where he was like, and people were like, oh, I don't know if I like how Sam was critical. And I listened to it and I was like, I agree with everything Sam is saying right now.
Same, same. Sam is he's a kindred spirit for me. I feel like his takes are always like almost exactly how I feel.
He knows.
Apparently, Per Schneider feels the same way.
Okay,
so
good. Okay.
maybe it's just all the old guys playing the game.
We're too old.
I can't see what's going on
I'm just
here.
smashing things and there's just gold flying everywhere. I don't even know what's happening.
That's another thing that really surprised me, and I guess like the gold collecting for some reason really annoys me. Like I just want when I smash through it, I just want it to come to me automatically. I know it's lazy, but like
to have to
hitting
hit your
the sonar button is not at all. It doesn't feel good because it doesn't seem when I hit it, it doesn't seem like the gold's collecting.
Yeah, you have to hit it multiple times.
reason,
So you're just smashing that button over and over
like,
and over again. Yeah, I was gonna say,
which just adds to the colors and the shaking and the pop on the screen.
Yeah,
my wife walked in while Sawyer was playing it, and by the way, just give a 5-year-old the controller in this game.
And we go nuts.
It's insane.
Yeah,
and he loves it. Obviously, it's so much fun for him to just destroy things, and that's one thing I think this game is brilliant at is they provided 16 playgrounds to just go absolutely crazy in. And if you're a kid, there's nothing holding you back from just going absolutely insane on everything. And that's fun.
And me, like when I go into like a cool area, like the Bird Hotel or something like that, I'm like, I don't want to smash anything here because like this is all like creating a scene. Like I like that there's this idea they had here with this like hotel resort area that I'm supposed to be staying in, and I'm helping them find these record pieces, but like as soon as you smash that level up, it's just unrecognizable, and you're like, oh, it looks like everything else now.
Yeah, there's some really cool ideas too. Like every time you smash something, like it stays on the map smashed. That's
amazing.
There's really cool stuff,
and you can reset the map if you want to. So if you feel like you've destroyed everything, you can at least reset it. So that's cool. So I got the last question I have before we review it or rate it, Landry, is this is being compared to Mario Odyssey, I think fairly because it is the same team or some same team members from the Mario Odyssey team. And would you say that this is better than Mario Odyssey?
It is not in the same league, in my personal opinion.
I agree.
I think Mario Odyssey is a very refined and honed in sequel that takes everything it's learned from its predecessors. And I think Donkey Kong Bananza is a very fantastic first effort at a franchise that will probably be successful in the future, but to me is still finding its footing.
Same. Yeah. I think a good first concept. I love the idea of smashing stuff. Like that is novel and fun and new. But as the main mechanic, I think there's a lot that needs to be figured out. And it's similar to like Mario Kart World, but Mario Kart World has the benefit of DLC being able to sort of buffer and like add on to that game. Whereas like I don't know if there's much more they could add really, unless they do like kind of like the Splatoon DLC where it's like a completely different game. I never played that DLC, but I know people that played the base game of Splatoon, and then when that new Octo expansion or like whatever they called it.
Yeah,
that DLC pack.
Splatoon 2 is really cool.
Like, it was amazing.
It is cool, but it's also it does the thing that a lot of DLCs do that I have a little bit of a problem with, where it's just a lot of missions. Like it's like a mission map, like kind of like picture like Super Mario Galaxy to Super Mario Galaxy 2, where now
Hmm.
you're just on a world map and you're going to select the levels. It takes a little bit of the mystique out of it, but the actual gameplay, the design of Splatoon 2 levels, and there is a motif around the DLC. I can't remember exactly what it is,
Yeah.
but anyway, it's cool.
Yeah. So if you had to score it out of 10, Landry, how would you score it?
7 out of 10 for me.
I'm kind of right there too. Like I'm borderline 6. I'm like 6.5 to 7.
Really? Yeah, I mean, if it was, I mean, I was thinking about like what I would give it on the GG app, and I'm definitely going to give it a 3. So it's in that 7 to 6 range for me. It's not a game. This is how I know that it's not an 8 for me. I'm never excited to turn it on. Like
Exactly.
I'm really not. I'm just not excited to turn it back on. And like people who know me, you know this about me. Like Donkey Kong is my
He's your guy.
jam. I've been so excited for this game. Um, I've been very surprised by
How
how
much you
much
don't like it.
everybody likes it except for me. And I knew just by your lack of comments on the text and stuff, like I knew you were kind of feeling the same way. We haven't talked to each other until tonight,
Yeah,
and I,
literally
I was holding it all back.
this
So
is our first time even hearing our thoughts.
I'm pretty sure I've only said positive things in the text
Yeah, I
thread
mean,
that we're
I
on.
wasn't Matthew had beaten the game in the first 3 days and I was just like, "What? How have you even gotten that far yet? How are you
Yeah.
doing this?" And then I finally got to where like he was talking about when he was like, "Oh man, the later levels are awesome." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess." like I
Okay, so it was level 8 and 9.
mhm.
I like because I had heard the reviews, I'd read some of the reviews and stuff, and everybody was like, the later levels are great. And level 8 is the resort layer where you're
Mhm.
going up. And level 9 is where you get the elephant.
Mhm.
And I literally was like, oh my gosh, I get it. We're like, this game is gonna rock from this point forward.
More powers, more different games.
Those are the two best levels, and everything else after it was just okay. And then you meet King K. Rool, and there's this massive kind of like dopamine hit from bringing him back. But I literally, even as it was happening, was like, I needed this 6 levels ago. I'm not willing to take this up to an 8 or a 9 for this reveal. Which, by the way, my 5-year-old spoiled for me, and I was so sad. He was like,
Oh.
"Daddy, guess what I saw on YouTube?" And we don't let him watch YouTube, by the way. He watched it at grandma's house with his cousins, and he was like, "The alligator guy, the fat alligator guy from Smash Brothers, he's in Donkey Kong." And I was like, "Oh no!"
I wish
I
you
was
hadn't
like,
told
"That's."
me this.
I literally was like, "Stop, stop! I don't want to hear it anymore. Stop talking."
That is so funny. Oh,
Uh,
poor guy. He was just so
yeah.
excited to tell you about it.
Oh, he was no. I didn't make a big deal about it. It
That's
was
so
funny.
funny.
He was laughing about it because he thought it was hilarious that he didn't know what a spoiler was.
Yeah,
So
he's like, it's just cool. There's the alligators in it.
yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to our final segment of the show. That's our review of Donkey Kong Bonanza. I look forward to hearing people's thoughts on this one as we post the shorts. Yeah, let's go to Skill Tree Trivia.
All right.
All right, I'm coming down off of the laughter and the excitement of talking about Donkey Kong. Skill Tree
Oh, yeah,
Trivia.
look
This
at
is
my questions.
Skill Tree Trivia. We drop clues about a game character, ability, or item, starting vague and getting clearer. Guess early to score big. So, if you get the first hint, it's 7 points. If you get the second hint, it's 5 points. And if you get the obvious one, it's 3 points. If you obviously get nothing at all, it's 0. Landry, I'll let you go first. I'll read mine to you, and you'll be the guest of honor here. So you get to go first.
All
Starting.
right. This is a okay, character, items, and abilities, right?
Mhm.
This is an item. This enhancement rewards patience over rapid fire.
Patience over rapid fire. So it's some kind of sniper rifle or pistol. You know, you're not just spraying and praying. You're using this thing diligently. But I have there are so many weapons in so many games. I couldn't even tell you where to start. Next hit.
Its use can paralyze certain foes when combined with the right auxiliary upgrade.
Oh, auxiliary upgrades. So it's slower. You can upgrade it and like give it like an electric power of some kind. I still have no idea. There's so many guns that can do that.
A staple arm cannon upgrade that gathers energy before release.
Okay, so it's we're talking.
It lets you hold the fire button to unleash a more powerful shot.
So this is okay. This is the final. That's the final hint. Did you write these yourself?
No,
Sort
of.
I was like,
I riffed on some of this.
Okay, I was gonna say. I was like, this is still not very clear. The vague one is, the clear one is not very clear. To me, it could be Mega Man, or it could be Samus Aran's, plasma cannon. It could be Mega Man's, whatever his Mega Buster is. He can charge it up as well.
It wanted me to tell you the name of the game series, but that wouldn't be fun.
Well, that's supposed to be obvious.
Okay.
Give me the 3 points.
All right, fine. I'll read you the
Give me the 3 points.
All right, a staple arm cannon upgrade in the Metroid series that lets you hold the fire button to unleash a more powerful shot.
So is it Samus's charge beam?
Charge beam, you nailed it.
Okay.
That's the words I was looking for.
Charge beam, not plasma cannon. That's a later one she gets. Okay.
Oof. The plasma cannon is the electricity paralyzer, I'm pretty sure.
That's why I got confused.
That's the one that shoots through walls.
When you said paralyzed, I was like, oh, we're going the paralyzed route. Okay, I got 3 points for that one. Your first one.
Good job.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. This is a character. A lone figure who often explores alien worlds in search of answers and danger.
It's the same as Aaron. I'm going to freak out. Okay, I'm just going to take a guess. Same as Aaron.
That is correct.
Oh my gosh. Nailed it.
You son of a gun. When you picked Samus Aran, I was like, there's no way we both did Samus for our first one.
Dude, how do we do that's two times in a row?
That's crazy.
2 times in a row.
All right. Hit me.
This is a character.
Okay.
This figure was one of many taken as a child for a controversial super soldier program.
All right, I'm going to go out on a limb on this one. This is, Super Soldier. Master Chief?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Nailed it.
I was nervous that there was other super soldier programs out there like Gears of War or something. I was like, oh no.
Would designated Spartan 117 have given that away?
Yeah, Spartan for sure would have. Halo.
Yeah, that's why I didn't see. I am trying to omit some of these because of vague clue. Like when I heard Spartan, even an idiot like me would have probably guessed Master
even
Chief.
An idiot like me.
I played those games in a long, long time.
All right, this one's an item. You ready? A mechanical companion that turns water into a multi-purpose tool.
Oh, this is an ability or this is an item?
An item.
A mechanical companion that turns water into a multi-purpose tool. I'm going to have another clue.
Can spray, hover, and blast water to clean up messes and reach tricky spots.
It's Flood.
That is correct, Landry. Great job.
Yeah. Nailed it.
5 points. Very nice.
Thanks.
All right, last one. Here we go.
Dude, I hope this is the hardest one so far. Okay. This COG-issued weapon combines mid-range suppression with brutal close-quarters execution, a marriage of steel and gunpowder.
What was the first few words you said? This what weapon?
COG-issued.
COG-issued weapon. Ah, yes. I don't actually know the name of that gun.
But you can use the slang.
It's just the chainsaw assault rifle from Gears of War.
The chainsaw gun. The Lancer assault rifle.
The Lancer assault rifle.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever told you about my Gears of War love, but man, I played the first game when it came out. And I guess it hit me at the right time. I was like in high school, senior year.
Gritty violence.
I played that game. Yeah, exactly. I played that game so much, man. co-op. I
The
don't know
co-op
if it
was
had
amazing.
multiplayer. It was
The co-op was like
and by myself. Me and my brother played it tons. I love it. That was back when Xbox just ripped, dude.
they're putting down some bangers. I mean, yeah, between Halo and Gears of War, that's really all you needed to have.
Fable,
Yeah.
Fable was so good. Yeah, I don't play Gears of War anymore. It's too violent for me now.
I was curious about the re-release on
Same.
PS5.
I thought about it.
I was like, oh, that'd be kind of fun to go back through those, but then I was like, nah, that ain't me. Okay, last one. Character. A leader who's as comfortable in the cockpit as he is on the battlefield.
Oh man, this is gonna be
Pretty big.
Fox McCloud, probably. But should I guess right now, or should I just give it a second? I'm gonna guess Fox McCloud.
That is correct. Impressive. Well done. Wow. Yeah. So the next one was flies an R wing, and I was like, come on. I mean,
Oh
that's,
yeah,
with
dude, that's not medium. That's easily obvious.
with a hare, a falcon, and a toad.
Oh my gosh, that's the medium clue.
Yeah. And then level one obvious is the Volpine hero of Nintendo's Star Fox series.
Nice.
Fox McCloud.
Nice. I actually think that was outside of the Star Fox thing. Medium was crazy. That's fun. I like that game a lot.
That is fun. It's easy.
Considerable amount.
It kind of brings you back to some stuff. You're like, oh yeah.
Dude, I threw you 2 Xbox nugs this week.
Nugs.
I went very like mature gamer.
So I
Space Marines and bounty hunters, and I don't know what the Gears of War guys are. Just mercenaries.
Mercs. Yeah, you came out with 19 points this time, and I came out with what's the math? 17 on that one. Well done.
Nice.
Well done.
To you as well.
All right, y'all. Well, that unfortunately is the end of our podcast. Listeners, what do you think of Donkey Kong Bonanza? We want to know. Seriously, let us know. Because Landry and I had some thoughts.
Let
Clearly,
us know. I feel like we're the only 2 people in the world who aren't like super, super positive on the game.
Yes.
And again, I'm very hopeful for the future of this series. I'm not super negative on it.
You don't have to explain yourself, Landry, okay? Don't explain yourself, all right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I hate this game and it sucks.
I hate this game and it sucks. All right, well, Landry, thank you again for your time, man. It's always fun podcast, and I appreciate you. Anything you want to plug while you're on here?
Yeah, I've got a podcast out now called Blast to the Past. It's all about like classic film from kind of when the millennials era grew up. So 90s and 80s. And we even go back to like some 60s classics like Breakfast at Tiffany's, which I feel like was popular for our generation for some reason. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was just me, but I feel like a lot of people in college wanted to watch that and had the poster everywhere, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So we revisited some of those movies and we talk about them in the context of pop culture, what made them popular then, and whether or not they still hold up, and where they will be in the general. We'll speculate on whether or not in 30 years from now if they're going to hold up. And we just finished all of season 1. We got all 10 episodes out on every podcast network you could imagine. So give it a listen. I'm excited. I haven't listened to it yet. Maybe that'll be my ride in tomorrow. I'll check out one of your episodes. Yeah, choose a movie you're fond of and give it a shot. That's what I'll do. So that's exactly what I'll do. And then anything else, just write emails to bitcast@bitbloggist.com, and that'll be it for me. So until next time, y'all, this has been Bitcast. Thanks for tuning in to talk about some stuff.